transitioning from a cute puppy to something that is far, far less cute and probably one of the most unnerving looking humans on the planet, it's Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon now, we know that he got convicted of contempt, essentially by refusing to appear in front of Congress, refusing a subpoena to talk about January 6th and his role in January 6th. He served a few months in prison. He's out. And now the Trump administration is working to overturn that conviction. And we've seen this type of thing happen before in the Trump administration. He's granting favoritism to people. He's trying to make sure that January 6th doesn't have a real legal record anywhere, that everybody who participated in January 6th gets off scot-free. We're seeing that. We know about that. We see people like Peter Navarro and Rudy Giuliani and all of them. All of them are getting Trump's favor. But what makes Steve Bannon's situation slightly different is Steve Bannon is looking at a role in the 2028 elections. Now, he says that he's not going to run. And I kind of believe that he would not be the type of candidate that would run. If he ran, the speculation is that it would be simply to drive the primary process further to the right. Meaning, look, when we see the primaries, in my opinion, it is who's the most Republican, who's the most Democrat. You have to appeal to the base in the primary. Once you do that, then you move on to the general election, and now you try to appeal to everyone. So Steve Bannon's role, along with, disgustingly, Matt Gaetz, the speculation is that they would try to enter races just to move the primary process to the right to make whoever Trump's hand-chosen pick, probably J.D. Vance, make them look less extreme. And yet pull all the other candidates further to the right to normalize their weird behavior. I don't see that necessarily as the case, but I do see that Trump is trying to reward the people that he knows he's going to count on in 2028. And we know that Trump may not be around for that. He's looking more and more decrepit by the day. But Trump has a legacy. The Trump family, the MAGA movement, is going to be taken over by someone. And I don't think that Steve Bannon is marketable enough to be the guy who carries that mantle. But I do see where a Steve Bannon, a Rudy Giuliani, all of these other advisors that Trump has had over the years, especially the ones that have been disgraced. I mean, you're talking about a guy who openly asked, Steve Bannon, openly asked, would you rather have your kid be a feminist or get cancer? That guy. But he is an effective advisor to the extreme right. He really is. He carries a very, very large voice in the Trump administration and in the MAGA sphere. And of course, he looks the part. I mean, Steve Bannon really does look like the crazy, cooped out grandpa coming up with all the weird conspiracy theories you can think of. He is the walking meme of the right. So that's what you're looking at here, is that right now, your Fox News Jeanette Pirro, which also cracks me up, is working to overturn Steve Bannon's conviction from, I think it was 2022. He's already served his time. He's already out. But they're working to get rid of his conviction so he can clear his name, to normalize him, to normalize people like Rudy Giuliani and the ink dripping down his face and the Four Seasons landscaping. They're trying to normalize these people so that they can be regular players in the 2028 election. Same with Matt Gaetz. Yeah, that Matt Gaetz, the guy who in all of the reports allegedly paid underage women at parties for favors while doing drugs, while showing lewd photos on the House floor, nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States, and ultimately withdrawing that. We just learned that the Florida bar has allowed Matt Gaetz to get off scot-free, saying that those allegations had nothing to do with him being an attorney. Weird stuff. It's all part of trying to rehabilitate his image and Steve Bannon's image and all of these other kooky MAGA players, trying to rehabilitate them ahead of 2028 so that they can be normalized as part of this continued MAGA movement in Trump's wake. That is what we're going to see, this disgusting human being flouted in front of our TVs. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have had a great show here. February 10th. I'm Josh from The Ring of Fire. You can catch us youtube.com/The Ring of Fire. I am also on a couple of newly launched social media pages at The Voice of the Left on Facebook and Instagram. So come find me there. For you members, stick around. We've got the bonus show coming up with the illustrious Pat.
Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.